Bonjour everyone, I am Yan, your favorite friendly Frenchman, and welcome to another Planet Coaster Park Spotlight on Feinster by Mystic, a dwarven mining town that has become a spaghetti bowl of coasters fitting in a 100 square meters area. If you like this sort of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and show the creator of this park some love in the comments. Also consider joining the Baguette Brigade, our Discord server, with the link in the description. And without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's become the meatballs of the spaghetti bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Feinster, Mystic's first park, and it's a mini park, so it's really exciting. We don't really see mini parks that often on the workshop, and this one is a 25 by 25 park, so that's 25 4-meter walls put together, so that's 100 meters, if my math is correct. And look at this, we have some really interesting coasters around us. I believe we have 4, and just like that, you can really see, I don't know, some Klugheim inspirations here and there. I would have maybe just put some fences to, avoid people just going like crazy kids going on the track. But otherwise, it's really great. Oh, the people are started coming in. So we have 2 queues here. Which one? So this one looks like it's gonna be the invert. This one looks like it's gonna be the premiere rides. Not sure if it's supposed to be a premiere rides or a Vekoma family boomerang. We'll see that in a minute. And we have a cascade coaster, which is there, I think. Yes. So I think we'll start with the premiere ride Skyrocket. Oh, interesting. Let's see. It's so weird to see the park taking, like... Yeah, that's definitely a boomerang. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, okay, it's definitely a family boomerang. It's interesting that you put only 1 car in that. It's actually crazy how it, Is there another coaster in the background there? Oh no, that's like a people mover. Okay. Wow, so many things to do and see. Okay, so let's try this first ride. Do we have a name for it? I'm gonna wait because it's a boomerang coaster. It's gonna be easier. No, we do not. How are the stats? It's not green across the board. I wouldn't expect it for a family coaster, honestly. The G-forces are a little bit high on the lats, but the verticals are really good. Let's go on this first ride, everybody. And that was our first ride of the park. Didn't do much, to be honest. Didn't do much. It's just there. It kind of feels like you had some space to fill and you just decided to put. That's blowing my mind. Sorry. You decided to put this here. I'm not sure about the clearance, like right there. Like, if a train from the invert goes there and then the trains go... Hold on, let's... Yeah. Yeah, somebody's gonna get kicked in the head. But otherwise, really good. I know where your lads come from. It's definitely here. When you go through it backwards. The forwards facing, it's not too bad, but right there, bang! Yeah, it's a little bit too much. So yeah, that was, well, nameless ride. And let's continue. I want to go find our people mover. So I think it's gonna be... No. There. Wow. Everything is like layers upon layers. It's really impressive, but it's also kind of messy. It's not like... It's not your fault, like 25 per 25, it's a really short space to work with. It's a little bit shorter than Corvus's competition a few months ago. Look at that view though with the B&M track. I like seeing all of these. Maybe you should check the clearance in the future if you do like really tight stuff like this. Let's see. Okay, the clearance is pretty good. I'm only worried about there. Are we about to have it actually? Where is the boomerang? It's back in the station, isn't it? Yeah. Let's check it. Wait, no, it's not the... I'm so confused. There's track everywhere. It's really confusing. Anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, really nice views of the park nevertheless. And you detailed all of this, so this is really cool. Oh, you have a pause here. Wow, we have loads of people coming in. The one thing I didn't say with the boomerang is that it's really smooth. So at the very least, it's got that going for it. I'm really intrigued by our invert right there. It's running 2 trains as well, which is impressive. Wow, yeah. Yeah, so... I'm just gonna go a quick... Hold on. Show you a quick tip. Generally, your park is at 4,000, like it's locked at 4,000, it's the most you can have in your park. And when you spawn, like when you create a park, it's automatically 4,000 guests in. For your park, I think you should have 1,000 at most because of your paths. And yeah, you can see that the guests are not, well, guest happiness is at 81%, but when you look at, for example, this, wish it had a drink shop, and what did they say? There's not enough to do here, I'm going home. So, yeah, definitely something to, wow, I almost cannot hear myself. Definitely something to take into account in the future, that you have to reduce the amount of guests in your park, because otherwise I cannot hear myself. We have our cascade next. Do we have a name for our cascade? We do not. But let's board our cascade. So it's almost green across the board. Family coaster. This is nice. Again, the lats are a little bit high. The verts are really nice though. Let's go on this cascade. Honestly, so far it was my favorite. I really like this little section inside the wall here. The only thing I'm gonna tell you is, of course, the clipping. Can we catch it actually? Yes. Whoop whoop. Yeah, right there. And I think you have it here as well. A little bit here, but that's okay. And then the camera just. But yeah, I really love that cascade. Really nice job. I really like the whirlpool effect that it gives, even though that's not really a whirlpool. But the it really gave me Fantasialand vibes, like diving and whoa. The camera angles are really hard in this park. Diving under itself to get to that water section, really nice. I really liked what you did with the Cascade Coaster. Maybe something to explore more in the future. Some more themed rides. I definitely see your potential in that, and so that's maybe something that you want to explore in the future, building things. And so with that, we have a pool of people. Can you hear me? I can't hear you! I must remind you guys, by the way, that this is Mystic's first park, so obviously it's not going to be perfect. Obviously there are going to be some things that you can tweak, like for example, the way people can just go on the track and just, well, attempt to die, I guess, from the queue line, but otherwise what it's doing it pretty well. So, we have our main ride of the park. This doesn't have a name again. It's not green across the board, which is surprising. And the G-forces are really high on this one, unfortunately. Let's go on our B&M invert. So that was our final ride of the park, our B&M invert, and I definitely get the problem with that invert. It's a great concept overall. It does some really cool things, uses terrain very well. If I go in the pool of people, you cannot hear me, or at least I cannot hear myself think. But I think the really big problem is the friction. I checked the friction and it's at 0.6, which is quite a low friction, and which means that it goes really fast. And I think that's why you have some really huge problem of G-forces. I think the main big problem of G-force comes with that element right there. It's yeah, it's too sharp. Like, I don't know if we can catch it. Yeah, it's gonna go to the 0-0, then into the dive loop, and exiting that 0-0. Let's see, like, bang, and yeah, you just die right there because of the G-forces. Maybe not dive, but you have to be a fighter pilot to actually survive that. That's some Top Gun Maverick things right there. But yeah, I definitely think that my favorite ride of the park was definitely the Cascade. I'm more of a, I cannot hear myself. Okay, let's get an overview of the park to finish this spotlight today. But yeah, I definitely think the Cascade was my favorite ride. I think it had the most space, and it used the space really intelligently. And I definitely, oh my god, what am I saying? I definitely, there we go, that's a word. I definitely think that you have some skills in theming and theming a ride as well, like the cascade. That's why I really like the cascade. The B&M invert was really great. I think you just have to manage your friction, and I know why your friction isn't doing well. You had to put your friction. That's because the drop. First of all, the drop is way too curvy, if that makes any sense. If it started way sharper and then ended like you've basically done the opposite of what you were supposed to do. So this beginning of the drop is way too long, and this is way too short, which rises your G-forces way too high, probably, into that Immelman. And so what you'll want to do in the future is make your drop start way sharper, because that wouldn't matter since this is essentially the beginning of the ride and the G-forces won't be that huge. But when you go into a loop or at least a half loop for that Immelman, you definitely want some larger curves to spread out the G-forces a little bit more, because otherwise you're just gonna get whiplash or so yeah, that's kind of my feedback. Other feedback that I want to give is obviously this is your first park, so I'm not gonna be a pain about it too much, but as I said earlier, this big pool of people, first of all, making this main plaza the place where you get to all the rides is essentially a really bad idea, just because everyone is going to converge in that place, to that place, and it's going to create that big massive pool of people. One way you can avoid that is by lowering the guest cap in the menu that I showed you earlier. So that's a solution, but otherwise another solution is spreading the paths out. You know, making windy paths, playing with elevation as well, making your park, especially with a mini park, you have to make it very vertical or very windy, so that guests will definitely meet one another, but it's going to be more spread out, especially because you have those four rides that are concentrated in that one plaza. Let's all congratulate Mystic in the comments for his work on his first park. Also consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel to see more Planet Coaster and theme park related content. This has been Yan, your favorite friendly Frenchman. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. À bientôt!